The New World Order.
When it's hot outside, the streets are dead, there's no one there, and the valley's wide. There comes a time, two hearts of gold, live together, run forever on the open road. They gotta go.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody. This right here is the Flex Network. Yeah. Flex on the G. Flex.
All right, here we go. We are back in action. My name is FlexMike. I'm here in the scorching temperatures of 100+ degrees here in the Fort Worth, Texas area. My man on the other side of the glass over here is the Snowman, Eric Snow. How are you, brother?
I am good. It is beautiful, especially up here in the great state of Washington State, where it's a little roasty, but it's still beautiful.
Awesome. Well, it was pretty hot here today. We got a 5-day forecast of 100+ degrees for the next few days. So I work outside, so you know how that's going to be. I'm just going to be.
Yeah.
You kind of just get used to sweating or whatever. But hey, today, if you're listening right now, today we're hopping into some Summerslam preview, as Summerslam is coming live this Sunday, and we're pretty excited about it. Snowman and I were just talking, and we were just saying that this SummerSlam card so far as it sits right now is an all singles card. There's no tag team matches, there's no triple threat, there's no nothing.
Nope. This is what would the great one be saying? It is 1-on-1 with the great one.
Exactly. So, well, I'll tell you what, Snow, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this SummerSlam in comparison to, let's just say, the SummerSlams of the past 3 years?
I would have to say I'm good excited about it. I'm very excited about it. It's SummerSlam. It's it's August. It's one of the big four, so it's gotta be something you gotta look forward to every year, especially halfway through of the calendar year for wrestling.
Right. So we not to get too much into Raw and SmackDown, but we know a few of the matches, or I guess I would say most of the matches. I think WWE still has a few tricks up their sleeve for what they're planning to do. But the cool thing is, and we're going to figure it out this Sunday. So that'll be interesting. Also, we discovered on SmackDown last night that the mystery attacker with all the Roman Reigns stuff was none other than Eric Rowan, who is a tag team partner of Daniel Bryan.
Allegedly,
yes.
But
Buddy Murphy says that he saw Eric Rowan driving the car, right? That's what happened?
Mm-hmm. He didn't see Daniel Bryan, but he did see Rowan.
So
trying to do an Austin Survivor Series hit and run.
Right. And so that's part of the reason why I opened with saying these are the matches we know for now, because it's not like a Roman Reigns and Eric Rowan match was announced on SmackDown. SmackDown closed with that, so we don't actually know if they're going to be in a match, or if Roman Reigns is going to be in a match, or if Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, or we don't know what's going to happen yet. So we're just basically waiting to see. And but today we're really here just to kind of jump into the SummerSlam stuff. So all of our WWE / just professional wrestling fans out there who wanna get in on some of this SummerSlam talk, we're we're gonna just run through match by match real quick. And
Mhm.
Snowman, I got a list right here, so let's just work off of this list and the list that I got, and we'll just kind of chat about it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
start with
go
the
ahead.
match. I'm gonna start with the match I care least about. Which, if you are hearing me say I care least about something, I'm probably referencing the cruiserweights. So
Ooh.
I don't know how you feel about it. I'm not into the cruiserweights, but we got you got to help me pronounce this guy's name. Drew Gulak versus
Ani
what?
Lorcan or Ani Lorcan.
Yeah,
That's
Ani
what I'm thinking.
Lorcan. Okay,
That's what I think it's gonna say.
right. So tell me what you know about this match. I don't watch the cruiserweights. I'll just be completely honest. I know you're watching it because you suck up as much wrestling as you can get. So
Yeah, I mean Drew Gulak coming off, stomping grounds, Extreme Rules defend, winning the cruiserweight title and defending it. He's looking strong. And this past, last night on 205, they just had, a big, gauntlet match for cruiserweight title, number one contenders match. So this is going to be something that I would think is going to kickstart SummerSlam. It's going to just give it that feel of, oh, here we go. We're going to go.
right. So Drew Gulak is coming in as a champion, obviously, and
Mhm.
the other guy here, say his name one more time. Oni Lorcan. Is that how you say
Oni Lorcan.
it? Okay.
I believe if I'm not mistaken, he is from the UK brand,
Oh,
the
okay.
NXT
Cool.
UK brand. He was over
Cool.
there. He came over here.
Man, they're
So
doing as far as what the WWE is doing with NXT and all that stuff, but the UK
ooh,
brand that the WWE has right now is just incredible.
oh yeah,
Um,
great,
you could
great.
turn it on, not know the storylines, not know the names, not know any of that stuff, and be entertained just by the wrestling by itself. So
Oh yeah, just NXT in general, especially this Saturday, the kickoff to SummerSlam weekend with NXT Takeover Toronto. That card is stacked, and it's going to be, they outperform the main card, and it just gets everything ready for Sunday. And
yeah, it's
I can't wait.
awesome.
I
It
can't
kind
wait.
of it kind of builds your hype, like you get real hyped up, and then
You're ready for
you're just
Sunday.
ready. Yeah, you're ready for SummerSlam on Sunday. And, especially when you start to talk like WrestleMania weekend or like Royal Rumble weekend, any of those like big, huge pay-per-views like that,
Survivor Series
the
weekend
Survivor Series, yeah, you get
with
real
War Games.
excited. Yeah, it's awesome. So, okay, so Snowman, who do you got in the match? Tell me what you think.
I'm actually going to say it's going to be Drew Gulak who retains the title. This is his, he'll be going to his third pay-per-view as champ, or second pay-per-view coming in as champ, but this will be his, third month. So I believe he will retain and keep his momentum going. He just
Right.
looks too good right now to lose it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you on that one. I think Drew Gulak's got it. I feel like you said third month as cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, because
Yeah, so he
he
hasn't
won it.
had it that long. Yeah.
No, yeah, because this will be his third pay-per-view. Well, second with the title, his first, his second defense. Basically, I'm a little bit stumbling, but you know what I meant.
Yeah. So, okay, well, let's go to the next one. So, I'm gonna preface it by saying, SmackDown Live we had, and don't kill me. I'm not saying that this is the order that the show is going, as
No,
far as the card and SummerSlam.
this is just what we know.
This is me purely working off of a list. I'm not even saying that this is the order of matches. Um,
Yeah, and
but
if you don't, I have the list too. So
okay, yeah. So,
we're covered.
so SmackDown happened, and we had Miz TV, and Miz came out, and
Oh,
then
that was Raw. You're thinking Raw.
am I?
Yeah, you're thinking Raw at the end of the night.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. That was Raw. End of the night. Miz TV, Miz comes out, and then Shawn Michaels comes out, and then Dolph Ziggler comes out, and Dolph's out there. He gets on the mic complaining about everything under the sun that he could possibly complain about.
It should have been me. It should be me.
Right,
It,
right.
it,
And
it should be
so
me being champion.
So what he does is he straight up just signs the contract, and Miz kind of throws a line out there, and he says, "Well, I can't wait till I get my hands on you on Monday Night Raw
next
and
week.
next week. Yeah, and Ziggler's kind of looking confused, and he says, "Oh, you're confused. You're not wrestling me."
You didn't
And
read
then
the fine print. You're not wrestling
right,
me. You're wrestling, a legend, per se. And we all think it's
someone who doesn't have
a match
many matches left. That's
left.
what he was saying. And then so everyone was thinking that it was HBK there
HBK
because he just super kicked HBK like what the week prior.
on Miss TV.
Um, right. So then HBK picks up the microphone and says, he's like, "Oh, it's not me." And then the whole crowd is chanting like they know who it is. And then all of a sudden Goldberg's music hits. And so,
Yeah,
excuse me.
that entrance invasion. Oh, good God! The second you saw or HBK's expression of, well, it's not me. You can hear in the background, Goldberg,
Right, right.
Goldberg, and then boom, dum, 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 dum,
Yeah, so
dum,
Goldberg works his way out there. Dolph Ziggler jumps out of the ring because he's scared, and
because he just
then
got played.
yeah, and he's out there, and Goldberg signs a contract. So it looks like Ziggler and Goldberg are going to go 1-on-1 at SummerSlam. And you and I both know ever since Goldberg put up that botch fest at what was that, the Saudi Arabia show?
Yep,
Um,
at not Crown Jewel, Super Showdown.
Yeah, Super Showdown. So he had a really terrible match, so he was looking to kind of right himself with some of that.
Yeah.
So we got Goldberg, Ziggler. What do you think,
Well,
Snow?
Ziggler's gonna have a little bit of a sore chin after getting a little sweet chin at the end.
Oh yeah. Shawn
that
Michaels caught him
was
with the sweet
beautiful.
chin. Yeah, at the top of the ramp.
But
So match wise, what do you think?
I'm actually gonna go Goldberg. Goldberg, this is a match that he kind of needs to get momentum back. He's only been back a couple times for his matches with Lesnar, with his matches with uh Undertaker at the Saudi Arabia show.
And Kevin Owens and all
K-
that too.
KO for the Universal title. This, I mean, granted, we're not expecting a long match. Goldberg is known for the short, maybe 2-minute matches, maybe 3-minute, maybe even a little longer if it's, with Taker. But I think we're going to get a good match out of this. And I'm going to pick Goldberg.
So you think do you think it's going to be a squash, like it's going to end really fast, or do you
I,
think?
I don't think it's going to be a squash. It's going to, it maybe draw out a little bit longer than like a normal Goldberg match.
Right.
But I think Goldberg is going to eat, sleep, spear, jackhammer, and done.
Yeah, you might be right about that. It kind of looks like a squash match to me, but
And
I'm obviously going to take Goldberg here. I just don't see a reason why you would have Dolph Ziggler win. I don't know why you would want him to win or anything, but to me it looks like it's going to be Goldberg winning pretty easily. So okay, well and you took Goldberg also, right? So let's move on to the next match. I'm not going to jump into the backstory on this one too much, but Trish Stratus versus Charlotte Flair. Trish came out on, I believe it was on Raw, or was it on SmackDown?
SmackDown, she came for King's Court, to
Right.
just came out. Charlotte comes out and says, I'm the best, of all time. You're, different eras, but I would beat you, period. And
Right.
they just she just suckered Trish into a match. But everyone knew that we were gonna get, something, because there was a little hint, because Charlotte was, saying, I'm not even on a match, I'm not even on the card at SummerSlam. You can't have the queen, you know, not be on SummerSlam. So I'm gonna do something that will make me the you know make my match better than Bailey and Ember Moon and the Raw Women's title. So
Right.
we kind of knew a little, but we didn't know who exactly until we got to Thursday last week.
Yeah, that's been pretty interesting. I think it's kind of been on the rumor mill for a while about when Trish Stratus was going to come back because, we didn't see her for a really long time, and then she kind of resurfaced, and everyone was pretty excited about it, and you could see her, and you're like, wow, she's still in incredible shape.
Mhm.
So, y- to me, it's been kind of cool because she hasn't really just immersed herself back in it like some do. Um, but she's back in it. She's challenging Charlotte Flair. Apparently, they've been doing some training and stuff together. So I'm hoping that any ring rust that she might have can be kind of worked out at this point. So I'm interested to see what happens. I guess my pick for this match is I'm going to take Charlotte Flair in this match.
Yeah,
Um,
that would be a safe bet. I mean, you got the queen, the most decorated women's champion of this era, going up against the most decorated women's champion of the Attitude. So, from Attitude on, the ruthless aggression all the way up to her retirement. So that's a safe, that's a good bet, to put on Charlotte to come out top. Me, I'm going Trish. Yeah,
okay.
it's Toronto. It's her home. It's Canada, and she's the home. The country favorite right there. So I'm
Right.
gonna go Trish, and you can't. She's gonna give some satisfaction, guaranteed.
Right. Right. Um, yeah, that seems to make sense.
Mhm.
I just figured you were gonna go Trish, so I was like, let me jump
Yeah,
over here and go
yeah.
opposite of what he's got.
We had to get something like, okay, we're gonna switch each other. We're not gonna be on the same team for all the matches.
Yeah. So okay, well let's move on to the next match. Next match we have AJ Styles versus Ricochet for the United States Championship. Give us a little bit, um, a brief backstory on kind of how we got to the point that we're at now with those two.
Well, stomping ground. We had Ricochet win the United States title off of Samoa Joe. First title, and his first pro, action against, after Stomping Ground was against AJ Styles. They had a great match, in Everett the night after Stomping Ground, and they just started to have a, build up for a match at Extreme Rules. AJ Styles wins, and we get to see the reform of the club, but change it to the OGs. So now we get this, we're going to get this villain AJ with his boys, Gallows and Anderson, and now, it's the rematch from Extreme Rules. And this is going to be a great match. Both guys are high flying. I can, and I don't, I'm going to see that the OGs are going to get involved, more than definitely, but I think AJ Styles is going to retain.
That should be interesting. I don't think Ricochet necessarily needs to win in order to keep his momentum. I think that AJ Styles is in the right spot and everything, and so um, it should be it should be a good match. I want to see some high flying stuff. Ricochet can obviously deliver on that. AJ Styles is no scrub himself. So we're gonna get that. I'm just kind of wondering how much is the OC going to play a factor in this match. What do you think about that?
I think they're going to get involved to where distract the ref and, maybe trip up the leg or pull the ring down, or actually like really get involved to where AJ's going to retain, to some degree. But
Right.
I think it's going to be a little bit, maybe a little bit more than that.
Hey, your boy, Jack Walkley hopped on here, and he's super hyped that you're on the cast right
What's
now.
up? What's up, Jack?
So, all right, well let's jump into the next one. Oh, who'd you take? You took AJ Styles,
I'm picking AJ Styles. He's going to retain at SummerSlam.
right? Yeah, that's my pick also. I just think that it makes a lot of sense. We're not going to be on the same page on everyone, don't worry. Okay, next, and I really want you to kind of explain this one a little bit. Finn Balor versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt.
Oh no. See, that's the match I'm not as much kind of like what you were for the cruiserweights. This is my match that I'm not interested in. And let me
Really?
and let me explain. We had this opportunity 2 years ago. Literally. 2 years ago we had this program happen and we were going to get Finn and Bray Wyatt. And this is when he was doing that whole Sister Abigail kind of dressing up, acting mentality, and it was just bad. It did it I don't know why. It just was so bad. I just fell out of, caring about it. They had like they had a match at SummerSlam, they had a match at No Mercy a couple years ago. That was, bad, and they were both like doing their alter egos at that time. Finn would be himself, the extraordinary man, and Bray would win. Bray would be himself, and Finn would be the demon. Finn would win. Sister Abigail and Finn and the demon go at it. Well, we didn't get that because at that time Bray got sick, along with Roman Reigns at that time. This was at the TLC pay per view that the Kurt Angle and the Shield joined forces.
Oh, is that when a few of the wrestlers had got
Yeah.
some sort of like staph infection or
Yep.
something from the
Yep.
mat? Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah. Because we got out of that match, we got Finn the Demon and AJ Styles that night. And that was a hell of a match. So the fact that we're replaying this storyline again, I mean, and with the Fiend part in it, I mean, not the best thing to start off with with Bray Wyatt coming in and having this new persona, along with the Funhouse, and his first rivalry is going to be Finn again. I'm just not interested. I'm not bought into this, Finn and Bray Wyatt again. I can't be bought into it again.
Right. Well, I'm the opposite because I sit here and I look at it and I'm like, man, Bray Wyatt was off television for a while. Obviously, he had an injury, he had a surgery, he's recovering and all that. And we
And
were waiting.
becoming a father.
Right, and so we were waiting for a really long time about what's really going to happen with Bray Wyatt, and so you start to see these Firefly Funhouse segments coming out, and you're like, oh wow, that's Bray Wyatt, and it seems like they kind of repackaged him a little bit. Not totally, he's still himself. Everyone knows who he is. Um,
It's basically the psychotic version of Mr. Rogers.
right, it's like if Mister Rogers was, yeah, losing his mind.
We have the psychotic Mr. Rogers in his neighborhood, and a funhouse clown of evil.
Right, so that's interesting, and
But
he surprise attacks Finn Balor at when he made his first appearance inside of a ring.
mhm,
He still hasn't had a match, but he showed up and attacked. He attacked Balor. He attacked Mick Foley. He attacked who else did he
Kurt,
attack?
he just attacked Kurt Angle on
Kurt
Raw.
Angle. Yeah. So he's attacked some people, and it seems like he's going to be using Mankind's mandible claw because that's. I mean, he did that. He did that to Mick Foley also, or he did it to Mick Foley for the first time, but then he also used it on Kurt Angle. So
Uh-huh.
that was interesting, and I'm expecting Bray Wyatt, not a squash or anything like that because they can both wrestle, but I'm expecting Bray Wyatt to win. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's where I am with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of going to go with, well, actually, that one's going to be tough. Just because it's Finn Balor, he's kind of in this, funk right now where he's not doing anything, but he is. You kind of feel where I'm going with this, with him.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
but you have Bray Wyatt coming back, so it's one of those you flip a coin, you're gonna get something. But I'm actually gonna go with Bray because he's just coming back, and he kind of needs a win to restart this whole persona with the Funhouse and let me in.
well,
So,
I'm not even saying that, dude. Like Bray Wyatt has to win. There's no reason why Finn Balor should win. Bray Wyatt has to win because they spent so much time creating him and getting him to the point that he's at now. All of that for him to lose his first match back would make zero sense.
yeah,
Um, at the last Elimination Chamber we had when Bray Wyatt won the WWE title, I
uh,
loved.
that
Is
was a
that what
couple
it was?
years ago. That was a couple years ago.
We've had an Elimination Chamber since that.
Oh yeah, yeah
Okay. Okay.
we
So yeah. So well, either way, 2 years ago, whatever it was, I loved it. I think he has his mic skills are like no one's comparing to him really. There's not people that could get on the mic like him and talk like him and kind of be that creepy, just like character that he is and say the things that he says. You could listen to him talk for 15 minutes, not really know what he's saying, but at the end of it, you would be like, man, that
damn.
was weird. That was crazy. So you could get, he could keep you interested pretty easily. So,
Mhm.
so it sounds like you think you're gonna take Bray Wyatt on that, or are you gonna go Finn Balor?
I'm gonna go Bray.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense for Finn Balor to win. In that situation. So it would be cool to see Finn Balor come out as the demon though, just to kind of have that matchup.
That was my next thing. Are we gonna see the demon come out? Surprise like we did last year, where it was built as himself coming out, but then it got flipped that night against Baron Corbin.
Right. So yeah, it just makes the most sense. And if the demon came out, that'd be awesome too. That's like an added bonus. So let's see here. Okay, next match we have Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon.
Oh yeah,
So
that's gonna be a very interesting match because if Kevin Owens loses, no matter what, no matter how way, which way, pin, pinfall, submission, DQ, count it out. If he loses, he's gone. So this is good. This is going to be one of those. There's going to be something happening. A plan backfiring, but I'm going to say I'm going to put my money on Kevin Owens to win.
yeah, I think Kevin Owens is gonna win. And the reason I say that because we know that the I can't remember what they're calling them, executive directors
Uh-huh.
of Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff. I think one of their goals is to kind of get the McMahons off of
TV.
TV. Like Shane, like let's be honest, Shane McMahon is hogging a lot of TV time on SmackDown from wrestlers that are legit wrestlers, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of Kevin Owens' like spiel right now. He's saying all of that stuff, but the cool thing is, Kevin Owens is kind of having like a Attitude Era Stone Cold Steve Austin vibe
He's
to
having a
him.
field day right with this right now.
Yeah, and so it's cool. It's interesting to see, and I'm into it, and it's super entertaining right now. And so I just like the idea that Kevin Owens is using a stunner. I think that's pretty cool, and he's using it with permission also, which is
Uh-huh.
also a cool thing. Austin allowed him to use it and all of that, and so that's pretty cool. But I think I'm gonna take Kevin Owens in this just because I think they want to get Shane McMahon off of TV, not totally, but get him off of TV so that other wrestlers can have their opportunity to shine.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I have a sneaking suspicion that this is just going to set up, and don't quote me or anything, yet, but I have a sneaking suspicion in the back of my head that we're going to get in, down the line, maybe a rematch for Hell in a Cell. the rematch inside Hell in a Cell
A
between these
rematch.
two.
Oh, between these two, that would be
Mhm.
interesting. So
Just to
when
finish it all
when would you place that Hell in a Cell?
at Hell in a
Oh,
Cell
at the
pay-per-view.
Hell in a Cell. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you were just saying that
Maybe
match.
Shane, maybe Shane takes like a month off, of TV for a little bit, or couple like several weeks off after losing to KO. He comes back, messes with KO for a little bit. He goes away for a little bit, and just to some degree that they will face each other at Hell in a Cell with no one coming in to interfere, and this be finally over, and Shane goes off on his merry way
Right.
into the backstage and be quiet for a
Okay,
while.
so we're opposite on that, and that's cool. We're not agreeing on everything. Well, let's move on to the next match. Next match, we have Bailey versus Ember Moon for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Um, this one's been interesting because a lot like the other Women's Championship match, they seem to be buddies, and then competition gets in the way, and they kind of start turning on each other. You know, Ember Moon hit Bailey with an eclipse, and then Bailey comes back and hits her with her Bailey to belly finisher that she does. Um, and at WrestleMania, a lot of people were kind of annoyed that Bailey and Sasha dropped the women's tag titles, but I think it was kind of like a long play for wanting to give Bailey a singles push, and so that's
Well,
that's interesting to me.
they kind of had to when Sasha decided, I'm out of here for a while. I'm leaving.
Yeah, but
We haven't seen her because
Sasha.
she was pissed she's been pissed off at the company for saying, we're gonna, you guys are the tag team champs. You're gonna go to NXT. You're gonna go to NXT UK. You're gonna go to Raw, SmackDown. You're gonna defend the titles, and then WrestleMania, and you give it to the Iconics. You only defended it a couple times, and
Right.
you were promised this. And the women's tag team division, I know I'm gonna be shitting on it, but it's been so bad. I mean, the Iconics holding on to it for this long, and
Well,
they
and
only had a few
if you
titles
look at
defenses.
the Iconics run, they didn't really defend it. Like, is
No,
who did they like legitimately beat while they were, and that's part of their
yeah,
gimmick, and it makes sense. But I'm just saying is like the WWE is so interesting sometimes because they could tell you one thing and then the
flip it.
an hour before it's supposed to happen, something completely different is happening.
Mhm.
And so that seems to be what happened here. Oh, we want you guys to defend in NXT and Raw and SmackDown and NXT UK and all that stuff. And then they're like, no, you're going to drop them to the Iconics. And so that's what Sasha got so, upset about. And
Uh-huh.
and it has been interesting, and we still haven't seen her. But I'm wondering if we see a Sasha appearance this Sunday at SummerSlam. From things I've been reading, she's been ready to come back and stuff like that, and they're just
Oh,
waiting for the opportune time. But
I don't doubt that she's been ready to come back. I mean, you gotta think, WrestleMania, we haven't seen her since then. She's been off, on this cool down period. I mean, to a degree, with losing being told, losing the tag team titles, and then the issues with Alexa Bliss backstage. It kind of is like, you got to get away, or otherwise something bad's going to happen. So with her gone, this set up Bailey to be a singles competitor and go to SmackDown and to win the Money in the Bank contract and cash in on Charlotte that night after taking the SmackDown title off of Becky Lynch. So
right,
this has been a great. It's a bad and good thing. Bad, we haven't seen Sasha and Bailey, as tag team champions, which they should have been for a lot longer, and got a good run out of them to make the titles feel more legitimate. But good, because we get to see Bailey in a singles program and hold her own with Alexa Bliss, twice, and now having to defend against Ember Moon, a new contender for this title, and it's new blood. So we're getting something exciting on SmackDown with new blood into the mix instead of Charlotte getting another title match, or just Charlotte again.
right.
So
I mean,
I'm excited for this SmackDown Women's Title match. I'm excited as heck.
yeah, I hope it's good wrestling. That's, in this day and age that we're in with women's wrestling,
It
that's really what I look for, because we've talked about this before, but a lot of times when the men have been kind of BSing around, we've watched women's matches and been like, man, this is like better than half of the men's card.
I mean, this is how this is how I feel with the SmackDown tag team titles, because they were built for built so hyped up. They were and now they're just being defended on a Raw, you know, every so often. I mean, maybe not on a pay per view or on SmackDown or something like that. It's just treated like a joke now. And I mean, granted, now we have new tag team champions in Alexa and Nikki Cross, the weirdest combination you can get out of those with the women's division. And now the Iconics are no longer champs. So it's just so interesting what they're doing now. Now with Bliss and Cross as the third champs in this era.
Right. So, who do you got in this match, Snowman? What do you think?
Oh, as much as I want to say Bailey is going to hold her own and give us a great match with Ember Moon, I'm picking Ember Moon. She has been working at this for so long. She was a great NXT women's champion down at when she had the titles a couple years ago.
Right.
She has very well deserved this. I think she's going to take it this year at SummerSlam. She's going to win it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna say Bailey retains. Um, would I like to see Ember Moon win? I don't know if I'd say I'd like to see it. I have zero problem with it. I'm kind of indifferent between the two. I would
And this
just much
is
rather. Yeah, I
sorry.
would just much rather see her retain the title in this situation, just because they haven't had a whole lot of time to really build the storyline. It just kind of came about over the last couple of weeks, and so yeah, I would just want to build a storyline a lot more before I'm ready to see a champion just drop a title to someone.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, this is a match where you can't go wrong with either choice because Bailey's been a great champion. She's deserving of to be the SmackDown Women's Champion. Ember Moon on the other side, she would also make a great SmackDown Women's Champion, and she's also deserving. So these are two people that I think are going to have a great rivalry together,
Right.
and it's going to get better over time. Maybe through from SummerSlam onto Clash of Champions, onto Hell in a Cell. It's going to be a good rivalry that we needed for SmackDown.
Right, and it should be a pretty good match as far as wrestling goes, because they can both wrestle.
Oh yeah,
They're both good wrestlers, and so that'll be interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah, so you're gonna take Ember Moon, and I'm
I'm
gonna
taking
take
Moon.
and I'm gonna take Bailey. So we're opposite there again. So let's go to the next one. We got Kofi Kingston as the WWE champion versus Randy Orton. Yeah, that title right there. There you
This
go.
title, and the best part, and I want to start this one because they
Well, hold
finally
on. Let
okay.
me ask you a question real quick.
Go ahead.
It might be two questions. Number one, is that title plastic?
No, this is not. This is the. I got this at the now defunct, but now probably more than likely coming back at Toys R Us for $100 when they
Okay.
were when this
That
was
was
on
gonna be
when they were having their closing sale, so I got it for cheap. So
okay.
this
So that
is
was gonna be my next question. I was gonna ask you how much you paid for it.
yes, but this is like just a replica title. I mean, not like something you would get on WWE Shop where it just has the plates that are already in here. So it's a
Right.
good quality title.
So if you order on WWE Shop, can you put anyone's plates you want there?
If you get the replica title, the one that's like $300-400, you would be able to get like the ones that the side plates that come off and get like Brock Lesnar, DX, NWO, WrestleMania of the current year, if they still have it. Austin.
Would you put an NWO one on there just for the
Ooh.
sake of NWO being the champion? That'd be awesome.
That you could do that. They have NWO plates.
Right. That'd be cool.
And the same thing with the women's title. If you got Raw or SmackDown women's title, you could get Charlotte side plates, Becky Lynch plates, Bayley plates, Bliss plates, and the same thing with the NXT title. Heavyweight title. You get there's only a couple plates for that right now, but so they're building their stock right now with the plates down there for NXT, but. Yeah, they've had since they brought the WWE title out in this current form, they've been selling plates on there for like $100.
Cool.
So
I mean,
it's kind of cool.
That's a sweet belt and a sweet prize. But anyway, let's move on from that. I just needed to know about that.
Well,
so go ahead.
And you can find these I actually saw them at Target. So you can find them at Target. It's like maybe $100 or something. I want to say, don't quote me, but I've seen that Target recently.
Nice. Okay, so now jump into the Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton.
Okay, this title match, it's not going. It's not going on to, just something thrown together. Granted, Kofi threw out the challenge to Randy Orton. The smart thing that they did was incorporate from 2009 their series of matches and what had happened after bragging rights, where Kofi Kingston cost Randy Orton the title in the no disqualification, the anything goes Iron Man match, and they had their rivalry after that with. At Madison Square Garden, where Kofi did the boom drop off, in the crowd through a table, and their rivalry after that, and how he was at that time. So now they've incorporated it into this rivalry, and I am excited for it because it just threw back to to that time period of 2009 where Kofi was low on the totem pole and Randy was this dominant figure. So
right, he was pretty much the face of, between him and John Cena, face of the WWE at the time.
Yeah, and this was 2009, so there was it was just getting into the new era stuff where they still had the world heavyweight title, the big WCW title belt, and they had the WWE title. So it was a good time period, a good thing to bring that back into this rivalry to show that Kofi's grown a lot and he's now the champ and he hasn't forgot what happened. And even when Randy Orton got a car, a paint job for NASCAR in their at the time, like the Busch series, I'm kind of old school with that. I remember as the Busch series, this
right
here below the big league. So he got a paint job, custom paint job for one of the cars, and Kofi Kingston standing on top of it like, well, it's funny you say that. I should come out and talk to you when I'm looking right at you right now, and just goes to town on this car, keying it, hitting it with a crowbar, throwing a crate into it on wheels, like a 300-pound crate, and just throwing paint on it. It was fun to watch that again.
That's funny, and this is exactly why me and Matt always refer to you as the wrestling encyclopedia. You're just like this vat of endless knowledge when it comes to things that have happened on WWE television. Super interesting. So who do you have right now? Who are you taking? You taking Randy Orton?
Nope. I am taking the power of positivity and Kofi Kingston to retain.
All right, I got you. I am not. I'm taking Randy Orton. And I think and it's just unfortunate it's going to have to come at the expense of Kofi Kingston, but basically I think this is an opportunity to kind of put Randy Orton back into the limelight a little bit and give him some more of that like main event superstardom that he hasn't really had in quite a while. He's kind of been a mid card guy for the past little bit. He hasn't really been in any feuds that I've necessarily cared about a whole lot, and that's been really irritating because I mean, obviously he's got the best finisher in the game. The RKO is like the best thing going. Mostly because it's so with his ability to apply the RKO, it's
Have anywhere.
yeah, it's extremely versatile. So like if you're jumping off the ropes, he can hit you with that thing, you know. And it's and it's basically lights out if you get hit with it.
I
So
mean, the same thing. That was the same thing with the diamond cutter.
yeah,
Bang, could be hit from anywhere.
I mean it's the same move as basically.
Just
Diamond Cutter
just
was
without
was
the
a little
jumping
bit.
part.
Yeah, the Diamond Cutter's a little bit more rugged. I felt like DDP was always breaking someone's neck when he was hitting him with a Diamond Cutter. But yeah, man, I like Randy Orton. I think some of his injuries over the years is what has kind of derailed him. But they said something on TV the other day that he's like a 14-time champion or something. Is that what they said? 14-time? Do I have that number right?
I could double check that, but I want
Yeah.
to say yes.
I know it's up there, and I guess I was surprised when I heard the number. But then I started like looking back at it, and then I saw that, you know, back when John Cena was carrying the company post Attitude Era, you know, John Cena and Randy Orton were feuding all the time, and they were changing the title back and forth forever. So, I guess that's what
13. He is a
thir-
13th.
13.
Yeah.
Okay, but that number's pretty high because what's the record? Like 18 or 16 or something?
16 time. Woo! With
Yeah.
Nature Boy and the You Can't See Me, John Cena.
Oh,
Is
they're
It's
tied.
a tie. It's a tie right now. John Cena and Ric Flair are tied at 16.
Well, at this current moment, it doesn't seem like WWE is really using John Cena that much
No,
or
no.
at all.
Yeah,
So,
right now he's part-timing with movies and TV, but I think he's like say he's gonna say he's with the WWE, but he's just part-time. But I would say he's off, doing his own things now, movies and TV, and just you know doing venturing that way.
well, good for him. So, that's interesting. But on this whole thing, I would just really like to see Randy Orton win, and I think I don't have any reasoning why Kofi Kingston should lose. I just want Randy Orton to win, plain and simple. I don't have a dog in the fight when it comes to some of this, but Randy Orton winning is a good deal to me. So, okay, let's move on to the next one I have here. Oh, okay, Becky Lynch versus Natalia for the Raw Women's Championship, and and they announced on what was it Raw that it's going to be a submission match.
Yep, it was already announced previously that they were going to have a match, but then Raw that Becky wanted to be a submission match, or actually I think it was Becky, but I think it was Natalia, but it got changed to a submission match this past Monday.
So
And now it just took that rivalry a step up, because now we're expecting sharpshooter or the disarmer.
yeah, so the disarmer is Becky's kind of armbar like move. And I'm pretty sure if you're watching a wrestling podcast, you know what a sharpshooter is, or you better. So,
yeah, you better, best there is, the best there was, and the best there
right,
will be right there.
right. You got to know,
That's that
you got to know,
bloodline.
you got to know the sharpshooter. You got to know the figure four leg lock, and you got to know a couple other things. But this one's been interesting, because Natalia, who also goes by Natty's kind of known as like the nice girl and all that stuff, and babyface for a lot of her career and stuff like that. But the heels seem to come out of her with this.
Oh yeah.
And she slapped her around. They've kind of been attacking each other for the past few weeks, and I'm into that. And there's they both got a lot of Becky's been on fire since before WrestleMania, obviously, just like the hottest thing the company has. And
she's been on fire for the last year to the day.
right.
They're literally for 1 year since SummerSlam last year in her triple threat match
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
for the SmackDown Women's title with Carmella and Charlotte in that match.
Yeah. So
She's
they've been
caught
on it.
fire.
Yeah, they've been on it. They've been doing that, and so that's
And
interesting.
and on a positive note for Becky, she has been announced, and the first commercial has been released that she is the official cover girl along with Roman Reigns on the new WWE 2K20 game coming out in October. And
Yeah. So
I pre-ordered my collector's edition, the SmackDown 20th anniversary.
so I wouldn't say that Roman Reigns is a cover girl, but he's a
Well,
cover dude or a cover guy or something.
It's a
Yeah.
dual cover. It's
Yeah,
Becky
it's cool.
and Roman together.
I saw the commercial for it yesterday, the little promo video they came out with. It's entertaining. It looks good. I haven't really played a wrestling game in a really long time because the last wrestling game I picked up, I would just get dusted by anyone else who picked up a controller. So
Let me take a guess. No Mercy was your last game.
what is that, N64?
Uh-huh.
Heck no, I played since then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
played
figured you gotta go throw out one of the best wrestling games of all time.
Yeah, that is, I got into like the Raw versus SmackDown games and
Mhm.
all that stuff, and then
I have them all.
I've played it. I've played a couple of the of the WWE what are the 2K
2K?
games,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just not very good at them, so it's kind of disheartening when I try and play it.
Yeah, playing on them and doing maybe doing the story mode or doing GM mode or not career mode, that kind of stuff. That's always fun
Right.
to do. But and even a bonus because this year with the collector's edition this year, it's the SmackDown 20th, and in 2 weeks it will be on Raw in 2 weeks at the end of the month, the 20th anniversary to the day that SmackDown came out. So that's going to be a great, it's a great thing to intertwine with this year's game.
Right. So okay, well, who are you taking in this match?
Back to SummerSlam.
Right.
So, this is going to be a tough one. I mean, I know that this match is going to be, in Canada, in Toronto, in Natalia's home country, and she's coming home to win the gold and to, dispar Becky Lynch's, attitude. But unfortunately, Natty, I'm going against you. I'm picking the man, Becky Lynch, to retain.
Yeah, that's where I am also. Becky Lynch she's just like her character right now and everything. She's got too much momentum. She's too hot right now. She's just firing on all cylinders and everything.
She's as hot as a nuclear power plant on meltdown right now.
Right.
You can't touch her.
Yeah, she's kicking butt, and she's doing pretty good. So I'm gonna stay there. But let's go ahead and wrap it up with this last match here. One thing I would just say is be on the lookout for what happens with the Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Eric Rowan situation. We don't really know what's going to happen there. So so that could potentially be a match. It could not be a match. No one really knows yet. So that all remains to be seen. But let's go ahead and jump into this last match here. We got Brock Lesnar.
The main event.
The
main event.
Right. We got
more than likely.
Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. Seth Rollins is obviously very, very hurt and beat up right now. He was F5'd on top of a stretcher and just had his
edge of a chair
right
several times. So yeah, right in here.
Hey, we got a special appearance. Hey.
Ooh.
Right here. This is.
Welcome to the
hi?
Universe.
Hi.
Ooh.
Say hi.
Hello.
Say in the microphone.
Hi.
Okay. All right. All right. Bye. Bye. Okay. Good night.
Gotta love these special guest appearances.
Yeah, they just come out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, back to that before I was crashed in by a 3-year-old. She snuck up on me 24/7 title status. I wasn't expecting it. She came in here and got me. So
Hey, be lucky you didn't get the schoolboy. So
yeah, she didn't roll me up and pin me and take my gold. Drake
yeah.
Maverick style or anything. So. Oh, and that's another thing to look out for, man. I totally forgot about that. The 24/7 title, it's got to change hands a couple times during SummerSlam, you would think,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
Some,
Make it just gotta make an appearance at least.
yeah, we just need to see it. I mean, everything that R-Truth is doing right now with
It's gold.
yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's just incredible. Like, however they're scripting that stuff is just awesome. And so I'm just that as a whole, I don't really care who has a title. I'm like super entertained by it.
Yeah,
So,
see, this is what I was asking a couple, podcasts ago. How did you feel about it? And we're loving this. This is,
to be honest, I was a hater. I was a hater big time on when that title came out, because I was like, man, that was your opportunity to bring the hardcore title back. Like, what are you doing? And they come out with this 24/7 title. I'm like, what is this? But I didn't really give it a chance to kind of get going. I was just hating on it already. And so, I just like everything they are doing right now with that is interesting.
It's fun. It's interesting. It's giving us something to, like, why are they doing this? They're going to a pregnancy area or a pregnancy appointment.
The OBGYN is where they
Yes,
went.
thank you. Yeah, they
She was
went to there.
She was getting my wife's pregnant right now, so I know all about all that good stuff. But
yeah, so
she was getting her checkup.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she was getting her checkup, and Mike Kanellis came in there and hugged her and pinned her real quick, and then got the title. And then R-Truth was out in the lobby and gave him a schoolboy and rolled him up and got the title
with a fake baby.
Yeah, and then he was out of there.
And gone. But yeah, this 24/7 has gone and be a highlight for every week. You want to see what's going on,
right? So yeah, that's super entertaining. But let's get back to Lesnar and Rollins here. I think they have something special planned for this match. I would like to see Seth Rollins win, just because this whole part-time junk that Brock Lesnar does, I'm not a fan of. I don't like it. I also don't like the idea of Brock Lesnar just coming in and demolishing him, and them kind of like, treating him like a beast and all that stuff. I mean, that's cool or whatever. But one thing I was told when I was younger, no matter how tough you are, there's always someone tougher, right? And in WWE, it does not seem like there's anyone that has been able to answer this Brock Lesnar beast situation. What I would like to see is a guy like another guy who's big, like, I mean, obviously it's not going to be it's obviously not going to be the Big Show, but and I don't know what I don't know what the standing is with Braun and stuff, but he doesn't seem to be being used all that much. He's in gimmick matches with Saturday Night Live characters and stuff like that, so I'm like, whatever. But
Extreme Rules, he just got done with a program with Bobby Lashley in the Last Man Standing, because they were doing like arm wrestling matches and tug of war.
Yeah. I mean, I know all of that, but Bobby Lashley's hurt now and he's having surgery and all that good stuff. So what are you really gonna do? And it's just interesting, man. And I think that this match has an opportunity to be good. And I think it has an opportunity to be a pretty good match. Actually, I think there's a lot of different angles and directions they can go with the match. And one thing I'll say about Brock Lesnar is he doesn't get the credit that he deserves for his ability to sell. When they're in the ring and they're telling a story, specifically when Goldberg beat Brock a while back before WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar just seems to be able to sell, as far as like the psychology of a match goes. He sells really well. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not you're not going to schoolboy a guy like Brock Lesnar or like any
No.
of that type of stuff. But if we're talking finishers and stuff like that, any off the top rope type of stuff, he can sell for you big time if you're hitting him with some stuff. And so he just deserves a little more credit with that. People just get really irritated with it because they see him hitting the German suplexes and then the F5s and, you know, all these different tosses and stuff. And they're not really interested in it. And it's kind of boring, but I would just like to see, in my opinion, I would like to see Brock drop the title here. I don't want to see him as champion. Him as champion is annoying to me. So,
Well, back to with the Goldberg, you're talking about the Survivor Series, their second match when when Goldberg came back. Okay.
Yeah,
so I just want to make sure because
I wasn't talking that WrestleMania match they had back in the day before he left the company.
In 04. Yeah, they had a match at WrestleMania 20. That was when they were both leaving, and Goldberg won. And Austin was up the special ref for that match. Goldberg won, and then they had another match, way down the line at Survivor Series when Goldberg was the cover for 2K17.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, 2K17. I want to say, don't quote me.
No, I think you're right. Because is this no? It had to be 2K18.
Yeah, no, because last year was. Oh yeah,
because the games are ahead of us in real life.
Yeah,
so 2K20 is coming out right now.
Yeah, well, yeah,
it'll be out in October, but it's only 2019. So the game is ahead of us. So it had to have been 2K18.
I want to say it was 17. That's but anyhow. So they had a match.
I'm gonna Google it while you talk about this.
Yeah, go ahead. So they had the Fantasy Warfare match, and Brock got smashed like that. They didn't see each other again to the Rumble. A couple months later, Goldberg tossed Brock Lesnar out of that one. Then they had their last match together for the Universal title at WrestleMania. Lesnar beats Goldberg, takes the title, and goes on his year's rant on Rampage that year in Florida to just, end that rivalry right there. So this, I am actually going to agree with you that Brock Lesnar should not be holding the title. I actually think that this would be the last time we see Brock Lesnar holding the Universal title. They cannot be doing this to the Universal title anymore where they give it to Brock Lesnar, who's a part-timer, who's on a high money contract to be part-timer for select dates. You need to have the champion who's there 365. And it's not going to go here and do this. It's not going to go, attempt to go to UFC and be a double champion in two companies. So this has got to be the end line for Brock Lesnar to hold the title. I'm picking Seth Rollins. I've been wanting him to, I've had Brock Lesnar wanting him to be gone for so long after he lost the title at WrestleMania. I was hoping he was gone.
And I was hoping he was going to be gone also.
And then Money in the Bank happened, and it's like, no. That I had the emoji of, or the gif of Hades flame up, just like,
yeah,
angry that he's back.
So it looks like here, back on this 2K thing, it looks like we were both wrong. Goldberg was never on the cover of that game. Because going back all the way to 2015, Cena was on it. 16, Austin was on it. 17, Lesnar was on it. 18 was Rollins, and 19 was AJ Styles. So
it was 17 because Goldberg was announced as
as a playable character.
Yes,
he wasn't.
He was a pre-order bonus. Yeah, he was the pre-order bonus because they were hyping it up as the Fantasy Warfare. Between these two, but we already knew that these two have had a match before at WrestleMania 20
Well,
in '04.
that match was also terrible for the
Yeah,
record.
they were both
WrestleMania.
that match. They were both leaving, and everyone in that building knew that they were leaving. Lesnar was going to play NFL, and Goldberg was going away. So they literally were booing both of these guys out the building that night.
Right, right. And so that was I mean, yeah, that was an awful match. And their next, their next two matches were actually pretty decent. The
Mhm.
Survivor Series match was obviously like a shocking situation
Spear,
for
spear, jackhammer.
no, spear jackhammer.
Yeah,
Right? He got him twice.
yeah. He's shock, boom, set up, boom, jackhammer, done.
Right. And then
The
so
the WrestleMania match was a little bit longer. I mean, a lot longer, but Brock Lesnar won the title that night, and
right, which I think a lot of wrestling fans knew that was coming.
mm-hmm.
So, okay, well, let's get our predictions for this last one here. You said Rollins,
Mm-hmm.
and I said Rollins. I just think that
it's got to be the end for for Lesnar to hold on to the title. No, I don't see anybody wanting Lesnar as a part timer to come and go and not defend the title on every pay-per-view and only coming on select pay-per-views or the big pay-per-views and then goes away for a while.
right. And so, I'm in that boat as well. I don't want to see that guy with the title. So I'm super interested in Rollins as champion. I think he's young. He can pretty much do everything you need him to do as a wrestler. And so there's plenty of other
Opponents,
yeah, wrestlers out there that I'm not saying deserve a title shot, but like
at
it would
least
be
an
interesting to
opportunity.
yeah, it would be interesting to see them in feuds and things of that nature. And now with Heyman running Raw and Bischoff running, you getting a
SmackDown.
phone call or what?
Oh shit.
But anyway, so we got no one wants to see Lesnar doing all that. So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. I think there are plenty of wrestlers that are in line right now for a chance at that title. I'm really interested in seeing some of those guys. I would like to see Braun Strowman be thrown into the mix as far as
Oh
some of
yeah,
that stuff goes.
he is. He's definitely someone that that has been in the conversation to deserve a title match or even be champion. He's a monster. That would be a
I mean,
great opportunity for
that
him.
dude hasn't even held a title outside of the fake tag titles that he won and then had to forfeit.
No, those weren't fake. He actually won them. He
No,
just
I
had
know that he won them, but it was fake because he had to forfeit them. He had
yeah.
a 7-year-old or whatever as his partner, or sorry, a 7th grader
Yep,
as his
Nicholas.
partner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nicholas,
Yeah.
one of the referee's kids,
Oh, really?
apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, well, what do you say, Snow? We got our SummerSlam preview here down, and one of the things is one of the things to think about is how is Roman Reigns going to play into this SummerSlam card, and will we see another match with tag teams? Will something like that pop up? We don't know. I mean, you got two different tag team champions, and neither one of them are going to defend their titles on the card. I find that a little crazy. But anyway,
I mean, there's always last minute stuff on the pre-show. Something could get set up. I mean, because you have 9 matches you gotta fill for a pre-show, and you got the main card. So, I mean, they could somehow throw something together on the pre-show, saying we're gonna have tag team titles are gonna be defended on the pre-show or somewhere on the card.
well, I obviously understand that. I would just like to give the tag titles a little more respect than a pre-show. I don't want to see them defended on a pre-show. A lot of people don't even watch the pre-show, and so I just want to see the tag titles defended in the right way. And
Mm-hmm.
so anyway, so that's pretty much it for our SummerSlam preview here. And well, Snowman, how about you tell the people where they could find you, where they could reach you, all that good stuff.
Well, they can find me on the Twitter at Snow or AJ. Yeah,
I got it right here.
yeah. You have
It's
the control of this.
yeah, it's AJS Dead Snow on Twitter.
Yep.
So
But
find
and,
here, I'll
and-
flash it right here for you
yep.
guys. You see that right
Oh.
there? AJS Dead Snow. So
And we want to give out this special program note for next week because your boy is taking over the network. That's right. I have my own show.
yeah, so it should be interesting, guys. So Eric Snow, the Snowman, is coming with his own wrestling show. Sometimes I'll be on it, sometimes Matt will be on it. He might have his own guests that he's interviewing, but he's going to be going through some pretty interesting stuff that he's going to talk about. And I think it's going to create a desire for you to want to flip on your WWE network and really watch what he's talking about. He's me talking about some interesting stuff, some interesting rivalries, things that have happened over time back in the day. Not so much the current stuff that's going on, but he's going to give you a deep in-dive look at some of the old feuds that we had.
Yep. I'm going to first limit myself for this first because we're going to do on my show. I'm going to go through top 15 rivalries that I thought were awesome, that were impactful to me, and that if I were to go back and watch, like the promo for the match or the build up, that it gives me goosebumps, gives me the bumps. So this first one's going to be limited to maybe, the Attitude Era, maybe 96, wink, wink, and 97, 98, 99. And I'm going to go as far as maybe 2002 for this first round of 15. So this is going to be something you guys want to tune in if you want to have that moment of clarity of, you know what, I want to go watch. This guy's telling me, a great rivalry. I want to go back and watch this on the network or on YouTube. Maybe go on to a specific promo that's not going to be shown on the network because of some copyright infringements or some music issues, but to watch the
Right.
original promos that happened for a Sunday Night Heat. So in 98, 99, and later on. So but I want to give you guys a small hint, a small taste of the first episode of the Snow Show. And that is, we're going to go back to 96. And a little piece of mankind will be happening with some death of a taker. So that's going to get you guys pumped up and interested into coming back next week with possibly Mike, FlexMike, maybe Matt. The Monaco one might be coming by, but we're going to have a great time next week. Flex, Mike, you want to take us home on this on this final road to SummerSlam?
Right. So
Let's drive us home.
As we close here, I just wanted to say there's, if you're not following us on some social media platforms, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can go to the Instagram for the Flex Network, which is Flex Network 23. You can follow us on Twitter, which is at the Flex Network 1. And then you could look us up on Facebook, Flex Network. Other ways that you can help us is you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Flex Network on YouTube. You can
share this.
You could share this. You could like our Facebook page, all that good stuff. You can. What we really need right now is whatever podcasting platform that you're using. If you're podcasting us, is write a review for us and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. We're on all the platforms. So whatever platform you're using, you could find us: iHeartRadio, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all these other like smaller ones and all that good stuff. So as for the Snowman and for myself, FlexMike, we will catch you guys later.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.